Hey everybody, it's Brendan with Evoke Bike, here to post a quick video on should we be training, what should we be training, coronavirus continues on, and there's definitely some questions as to when or at this point if things will resume. I think for those of us like myself that are more of a cyclist before bike racer, we're not having as much of a hard time with this because for me, I just really enjoy riding. I don't need races to motivate me. But there are a large group of people where they're, only doing the riding for the race performance. So I could see it being more of a struggle if you're not pinning on a number every weekend. Either camp that you're in or in the middle, whatever, I think we all are all about, setting goals, seeing improvement along the journey, and having fun. So having fun, no matter whether you're going after your first Grand Fondo, trying to finish it, or if you're going after a national championship, like the training has to be fun. You have to enjoy it. If you don't, you're never going to hit your peak performance. So I think that's the thing that you need to ask yourself. How am I going to keep this fun? I had an athlete that reached out and had just said, hey, I'm having a tough time from a mental standpoint, staying focused. And so I immediately asked him, do you need to take a break from structure? I printed this text out here. And I said, what kind of riding would you really like to do? Do you want to just lace up and ride? The end of the day, we don't want you to dislike the bike, especially at a time like this. And he's like, I'm not sure, but I'm going to take today off and see. And it was a great day to take a day off in Tennessee because it was raining, it was gross, and it was Easter. So I shared my perspective as an athlete with him to try to relate more than just being athlete and coach. And I said, from my perspective, I've shifted gears mentally. 2020 training, I'm looking forward to 2021 or late summer. So I really don't want to set expectations to allow myself to then be saddened if the races don't come back. I'm still getting stronger at age 38, and that's not from sitting around. The continued growth is my driver, not staring at the trees and being bummed that there are no races. When they come back, whenever that is, I'll be a stronger me. And also, from a failed workout standpoint, there's no pressure from training. If I fail something, great. It's just another sign of something that I can work on. And he's like, hey, happy Easter. Thanks for your patience. I appreciate you. And I said, I appreciate you. End of the day, we want you happy on the bike, whatever route that is. So whichever way you go during coronavirus, there's so many variables to this thing that if you and your family and you're riding, you're training, whatever, they all have to blend together. Just like a training schedule in your normal life. It's kind of why we're so anti-cookie cutter template stuff, because you are this moving, living, breathing thing, and your schedule kind of has to be too, so you got to be flexible with it. So what are ways that we can be flexible? If you're a cyclist, the easiest way, look for variety in your rides, in distance, in pace. I've been exploring new roads, kind of also looking for new places to do intervals. I used to always go north. Now I've been going east all the time. Just seeing different things and exploring different ways has been a really awesome way to enjoy these rides. But when you're also talking about pace, you can use different paces to train for different events. Now we see this split with gravel, right? Like road cyclists are doing gravel, but some people still want to do crits. And the 1 hour crit might not be the same training, hint, it's not, as a 7 hour gravel race. So how do I do this? You can now kind of look at your training and say, hey, I'm going to go out this week. I'm going to work on things for crit racing. Or, hey, I'm going to go work on things for gravel racing. I'm going to try and find what are my weaknesses. How am I going to win a crit? How could I win a gravel race? You can still be thinking about racing even though you're not training for a specific race coming up, because let's be real. In my first video, I said, hey, I think we'll be back by the end of May. That's not happening. And even when they pull the tape back and say, hey, okay, we can race, I think we're all going to kind of look around and tiptoe is it cool to go out? Can we go out into the real world now, or are we leaving the bubble? So that being said, you don't need much. You can do 2 intense sessions a week. Do them inside if you want, if you don't want to go outside and do them, and then do your longer ride at a easier pace, like endurance miles, on the weekend and explore. And I would love if you did that, because that's what I preach anyways all the time, ride some endurance miles. I had to laugh because I had a guy who was like, I think you're mailing in the workouts on the weekend. It just says to do endurance. And I was like, that's what you really want to do. You don't want to go do intervals every weekend. That's just not how you're going to build year over year. And talking about year over year, look at this now as a way to train for next season, if that's what happens. You know, I'm 38 years old. I'm at my fastest now than I've ever been before. And that's definitely not from the year that I took off in 2014 when I went back to get my MBA. You know, this thing, endurance sports, builds on each other. So even if you went out and trained now this year and races didn't come around until September, or say they didn't even come around, you're going to be better off next year. So the question is then, how do you keep that training fun? Well, ask yourself, do you get motivated and excited by your own personal growth through metrics? I'm not a huge person about setting metric-only goals for a season. I'm very much more event-based. But at a time like this, if you can find a way to see growth in yourself, to me, that's exciting. Now you have to ask yourself, is that exciting to you? I love going out and crushing a PR, seeing myself like getting better at the whole physiological system. Like my VO2 max is actually getting stronger. I'm getting better at producing watts at that power. So for me, that's a great thing. General fitness, obviously, that goes without saying. We want to stay fit. Looking down the road year over year, that's a big one. Whatever happened to Strava? Like when Strava really started popping off, everyone was killing their training plans going after Strava KOMs. Now's the time. Line up the top 3 that you want, see what you have to do for them. You know, pick two short duration ones, like under 5 minutes. Say like maybe there's a 2-minute one and a 4-minute one, and then pick some longer ones like a 12-minute and a 20-minute one. And if there's not one, make it. Or what people are doing in their cities, make these unofficial races where you're like racing point to point. That one, I've seen some that are in cities and like you're kind of racing through the city. That seems a little dicey to me, but you know, we're all making our own choices, and that's what this video is about. It's about you making your choice, what's best for your life. Because a great quote that my friend has in his Instagram profile is, we're all fighting a battle that no one has any idea about. So let's put out suggestions that people can use to stay healthy and stay active and stay fit. But I don't think we should be putting out demands and you have to do this and that, because we all don't know what's going on in everyone else's bubble. So let's still be friends. And then on a really big picture scale, talk to your coach about, you know, when I posted on Instagram, my name is @BrendanHauser on Instagram, that we used to, before Strava, the metrics were mega rides. I love riding long miles. So a mega ride with the capital M is 300 TSS in a ride. 350 is mega in all caps, and all little was 275. So I like making dumb things like that. So I was like, ooh, what's in, 1200 TSS week? If you flip it upside down, it says Uzi. So I'm going to start doing some Uzi weeks, 1200 TSS. I challenge you to that. Tag, what should we make the tag? Hashtag Uzi week, hashtag Uzi. That's probably taken already, OOZI. An Ooze ride is 3,200 kilojoules. So I'm cool making up dumb S like that just to have fun with this. Have fun riding your bike. And as long as you focus on that, throw in 1 to 2 interval sessions in there. You will be so thankful that you do when you come back, that you're still able to rip it. Because, hey, on the flip side of us saying right now, hey, maybe things don't come back to fall, maybe this thing turns around and we're racing in July. That's not that far off. So, I don't know. This is just the follow-up video, some suggestions. So, power goals, looking towards next year. Just look at variety of distance and pace. Strava, go get some KOMs, and make up some weird metrics and win, and talk to your friends about biking. So I'm going to get Wally on a call, see what he thinks, because he's my coach this year, and I should probably talk to him about that as well. Hope you have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Let's be friends. And I'm drinking a lot of coffee lately. How about you? Let me know in the comments what you're drinking, because I need some more recommendations. See ya.